Hello my friends, today I will tell you a story about the Little Mermaid. Chapter 1, In the depths of the sea, a mermaid did dream, of a world far above, with skies blue and green. She longed for the land, with its castles and kings, and the songs that she heard when the sailors did sing. She swam to the surface, and saw with her eyes, the ships and the sailors, beneath the blue skies. She watched them in wonder, and wished to explore the world that lay beyond the ocean's great roar. She gazed at the stars, and the moon up above, and dreamed of the world where the humans did love. The little mermaid knew she was meant to be there, in the land up above, where the humans did fare. Chapter 2, The Sea Witch did grant the mermaid's request to be human, so she could be with the rest. But in exchange, the witch took her voice, and warned her of pain. She had no other choice. The mermaid became human, and felt the pain of walking on land. It drove her insane. But she had to be with the prince she had saved, his life she had spared, and her heart was enslaved. The prince took her in, and made her his friend, not knowing she was the one he did tend. The mermaid did long to tell him the truth, but with no voice, she had no proof. She lived in the palace, with joy and with sorrow, hoping the prince would love her tomorrow. But fate had in store a different plan, for the prince was to marry a princess from a far land. Chapter 3, The prince's parents wanted him to wed a princess from a land far ahead. The mermaid's heart was shattered in two, for she knew she could never be true. The prince met the princess on a ship out at sea, and he fell in love, as it was meant to be. The mermaid watched from a distance so near, knowing her dream could not disappear. Her sisters appeared, and offered a deal, a magic knife, for their locks of steel. With the knife, she could return to the sea, and leave behind the pain and misery. The mermaid refused to give up on love, for the prince was the one she was meant to think of. She knew in her heart that she had to stay, and fight for her love, every night and day. Chapter 4, The mermaid decided to take a bold stand, to confess her love to the prince on the land. She went to the witch, and traded her tail for legs that could walk, and a dress that was frail. She arrived at the palace, and danced in a trance, but her feet were in pain, and she could barely prance. The prince was enamored by her beauty and grace, and he took her to dance in the grandest of place. As they danced, the mermaid knew in her heart that she had to reveal her secret from the start. She wrote on a tablet, and showed him the truth, that she was the one who had saved him in youth. The prince was amazed by her courage and love, and knew in that moment she was the one he dreamed of. He declared his love, and chose her as his wife, and together they started a brand new life. The mermaid was overjoyed to have won his heart, and knew that love was the most important part. She lived with the prince, in love and in bliss, and knew that true love was worth every risk. Chapter 5, The mermaid was happy with the prince by her side, but she knew that her time with him was denied. For every step she took caused her much pain, and her life in the land was hard to maintain. The sea witch appeared, and reminded her well of the price she must pay if love she would sell. Her life as a mermaid was over for good, and her end would come if she stayed where she stood. The mermaid knew what she had to do to save her own life, and her love too. She went to the witch, and made a new deal, to give her own life, and save the prince's appeal. The mermaid knew that it would be the end, but she chose to save her lover and friend. She gave up her life, and turned to sea foam, but the prince was safe, and would not be alone. The prince saw the foam, and knew in his heart that the mermaid was gone, and had done her part. He mourned for her loss, and missed her so dear, but knew that her love would always be near. The mermaid's sacrifice was the ultimate gift, and her love for the prince was the reason to lift. She chose to love, and to give up her life, for the prince to live, without any strife. Our story is over, my friends. If you like it, please subscribe to my channel.